Hello everybody, Professor Cedar here, and this video is dedicated to Packback. The first place you want to go on this is in the announcement section, but first, scroll down and make sure everybody knows. Right here, we're on the home page. Go to the very bottom, we have this list of assignments. So we can see here, Unit 0, task is Packback, date is open, January 20th, and due date, 22nd of January at 11:59 p.m. May be good to get on top of this. Best way to do that is to go here to the announcement and click on the one labeled Packback. And this announcement is actually top to bottom quite long. As you can see, we are not going to be able to cover everything step by step in this video, but if you have questions, you've forgotten something you want it in written form, this would be an excellent place to go. So, what are we doing here? What is this all about? What is Packback? So Packback is going to be our discussion platform. This is where you're going to go to ask all of the weird, interesting, can't just Google it kind of questions that you might have about geology. You're going to be posting one question and 2 responses every week here. It's going to be worth in total 15% of your final grade. This is graded, very importantly. It's going to be the same every week, due Friday at 11:59 p.m. Importantly for this one, you must have a minimum curiosity score of 40. So it brings me to a small point here. Why do we use Packback as opposed to some other internet discussion forum? The curiosity score is a big part of it. And let me show you what I mean here. So if we come here, we look, each one of the questions posted here has a little score at the bottom, right here, the curiosity score. And what this is, it's not so much a measure of good question, bad question. It's a measure of how open-ended a question is. We could come up with a question that's very simple, something like a true or false question, or a question like, how big is the Earth, right? Something like that. The answer to that is going to be pretty small. Somebody could try to elaborate if they wanted to, but ultimately it's a straightforward question. It's going to have a very straightforward answer. You couldn't sit with somebody else and have a big discussion jumping from topic to topic about how big the Earth is. You're going to get a measure, it's going to be a number, move on. As opposed to a question like this, which we can see, as you mentioned, 90 is very high. These scores go from 0 to 100. 0 for a completely closed, one-stop answer question, give it a number, move on, to 100, something that is very thought-provoking, very open-ended. So let's take a look at this one in more detail. Example of a student question that is excellent. So this says, how often do meteorites hit other planets in our solar system? So this student had watched a video of what would happen if these different sized meteorites hit the Earth and how it would impact our lives. And the student was a little surprised by something. It says, a meteorite only 1.5 miles wide would drastically change our lives if it hit the Earth. How could that be? How do they know this? How can they be so sure? Has this ever happened before? This is an excellent question. You can see down at the bottom that the student has included a source for this, the original website with the video that they had watched, and that they have managed to summarize their whole question into just this one line. This is an excellent question. You're going to need to ask one of these questions every week. You're also going to have to give 2 responses to these questions. So you go through and you find a question, let's choose a different one. Something like this, and you say, wow, this looks very interesting. I'm going to respond to this one because it is a question that interests me. So there's some question here, how do I respond to these topics? What am I going to say in my response? I have to do 2 of these a week. What does that mean? There is a little bit of guidance here. Oh, let's go down to the bottom. How to write a response on Packback questions. That gives you some guidance here. Most importantly, choose a topic that interests you, and then you won't have to try so hard in order to come up with a response. It'll be something that you personally find interesting. And we can take a look at this. This one, you can see the curiosity score is not quite as open-ended as the other, but still excellent, still a good question. The curiosity score that you would need is 40 at minimum to be able to pass the bar to be able to get full credit. I may have mentioned this before, but keep in mind there is no partial credit for these. Either all your question and 2 responses is higher than 40 on the curiosity score, and you get full credit, or you will receive no credit. There is no partial credit for these. We can go back, and I actually have added here a couple of questions to get things started. It's going to be very interesting to see what you guys come up with, but keep in mind, look, these don't need to be full-page questions. It doesn't just need to be as long as possible to get a good curiosity score. This one is plenty good, and it's a very short question. How did our planet receive the name Earth? And funny enough, this is actually something that I had not thought about or come across before. It's kind of a good question, something that everybody who lives on the Earth should know, right? Why do we call it this? How did it get this name? This is an example of a short but open-ended, excellent question, exactly what you would need to keep things interesting, frankly, for yourself and the other students, and to have a discussion that is worth having, that is quality. Just to review, if we go here, home, under announcements, we have this on PackBack. This will have all the information that you need to get started, and when it is time to create your account and get started, make sure that you go through Canvas. You go here, you go to PackBack questions, and now if I click the link, it's not quite going to work for me, it'll work for you. But if you go through this, make sure that you sign up using your school email. It should take you through everything that you need in order to be able to get started. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Don't be bashful. Closed mouths do not get fed. Thanks.